passed my driving test in November. And then I sort of like world on my feet then, do you know what I mean? Because I didn't have to rely on anybody. So my dad were having to drop me off to meet Chev down at singing Chokra on the morning for work. So we were meeting at 6 o'clock. So my dad used to take me down, drop me off. I used to have to wait there for half an hour for Chev because my dad was going straight to work. Yeah. So if it were pissing it down or snowing and all, I'd just stand there delivering it. Yeah, do you know what I mean? So it was a big move. It was massive because, like I said, I'd only just gone 17, so I was travelling to obviously to Hull, and the sort of went straight into first team, so straight full time there. And there were lads that had been there for a few years that got nowhere near. Yeah. So normally when you used to go into like younger changing room, I didn't. I went straight into older ones with older lads. Oh, yeah. So then again, probably a little bit old before my time again. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? I was just knocking about with all the older season pros. So sort of learned from them a little bit. And Clint Newton and Mick Vella and that at the time, they were heavy pros. You know what I mean? Yeah. Bengaliers and that, and Sean Briscoe's. Scott were a bit loose. Yeah. Scott was sat in corner eating a bag of Chris, and Benny were just flying about in a madhouse. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it was like a bit of a mixed changing room. They were sort of bringing the experience from NRL and trying to be professional. And then you had Doylams like me, Scotty and that were rough and ready. Do you know what I mean? And we all got on like house on fire, and we did well. But then again, probably a bit.
Were you getting regular first team?
Played 5 games that year. A couple of Challenge Cup. Coach were happy with me. Really pleased with how at the time I was on it. I'd just gone. I was 17 in pre-season playing, so I'd played a couple of games before I was 18 at KR. I played like 5 games, and I can remember playing in Challenge Cup quarter-final against Saints. We had Leon Price, Longies, James Graham, Maury Fassivalou, and I was only 17.
Well, I can imagine you've been in a bit of an order then.
Oh, mate, I was absolutely shitting my pants. You know what I mean? But like, my dad went, "Look, you're there for a reason. Like, you deserve to be there, or he won't put you in." So I sort of remember like Leon running at me. He stepped me, and he just like stepped across 4 people at the same time. Yeah. It was just like it was world class playing for GB, and at that time they won it that year in 2008 and beat us. But I can remember Fassivalou getting a dropout, and he just come straight for me, beeline for me, and I ended up hitting him and taking him off his feet. And you know, like the confidence that it gave me then, you know, like I thought, I'm like, I've put a bit of size on. I'd put loads of weight on, like muscle wise and that, from being in full time pre-season, and I felt good. And then come back year after, thought set a goal. I thought I want to play like probably about 10-15 games that year. I'd played 5, so I wanted to play probably double what I'd played. Yeah. Played one game in Challenge Cup, and then they put me out on loan up to Newcastle. And it was a bit of a confidence shatter, do you know what I mean? Because I'd put all my eggs in one basket, and that year all my goal was to play 10-15 games.
Were you commuting there and all?
Yeah, so I ended up, there were about Nath Massin that were there, Jamie Cordin, there were quite a few of us. Penny were up there at the time. So
bit of a trek, like, innit?
It was a trek, yeah.
But there. It's not about 2 hours.
So this is where, Justin Morgan, like, he was a good coach, really good coach, and a good man manager and that anyway. And so when I sort of wasn't playing in that, we didn't really have many academy games because I was sort of top end at academy. I couldn't play anymore. So I was sort of stuck in no man's land, and their reserves at the time, we didn't really have many games. Yeah. So I rang my agent up. I said, "Look, I need to go out on loan. I need to get some game time." I says, "Can you sort me somewhere local at?" So I tried getting to Fev. Yeah. So I went into a meeting with Morgan, and I went, I said, "I've sorted a club out." He went, "Oh, have you?" Where? I said, "Featherstone." He went, "No." I went, "What?" He went, "You're not going there." I said, "I'll tell you where you're going. You're off to Newcastle." I went, "What?" I said, "No." He went, "Yeah, Newcastle." So I'd been there 2 days a week. So I just completely stopped training with KR, and he had me training with them. So he sort of off me a little bit, and then sort of gave me a kick up arse again. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Another sort of like, I need to get me head.
Do you think he did that, like, do you think he did that on a purpose?
Yeah, he did it on a purpose, to keep me on my toes. I got a little bit, because like I said, I come into that first team environment. I was straight in with all first team lads. Played a few games that year and got a bit too confident, a bit too cocky and that. Do you know what I mean? And I bet he's thought,
Gets you back a bit.
Yeah, just,
I'm gonna show
yeah,
up,
yeah.
sort
Because
of
he
thing.
knew I had the talent and that, and like he always told me, he says like talent and that. He said that's not your problem. He said you just need to work hard in certain areas and
Yeah.
that. And so I ended up winning up to Gateshead for the rest of that year, playing all over Widnes Barrow and all that
Yeah.
sort of stuff, and just playing shit games. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Bank Holiday Monday up at
Oh,
Barrow away,
good
and
God.
do you know it was just
Listen,
like we were driving everywhere as well. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because they were Newcastle, so if we played like a Widnes or what, they'd come through Pennines and all that sort of stuff. So we would drive. We would.
Oh,
We were driving most at games,
Yeah.
and so I got my head down in off season, and I trained myself, trained pretty hard and stuff. And I come back that year to start 2010. That was like my proper breakthrough year. That,
Yeah.
and I played every game.
Oh, nice.
So like my goal again that year, I thought, right,
Is that like the turning point?
that
in
was
2010?
turning point for me, yeah, 2010. So that was like my proper first full year at being full time as a professional. So, but I started getting a few things on track. My diet, obviously that drinking sort of, because I was wanting to play in that and in games and all that. I just wanted to make sure I was fresh, ready
Yeah.
to go in that. So that was my first proper year then playing.
Yeah. You touched a bit there on drinking culture. Obviously, growing up, you've probably seen all your mates and that. That's been difficult, that like.
It's been tough.
Going
'Cause
out all the time. And
we've been brought up with it, haven't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So every amateur club and that, you play on a Saturday, you be in club Saturday,
Yeah.
and then all day Sunday, and so that sort of culture now, it's sort of drifting a little bit now because it doesn't really happen, does it? Do you know what I mean?
it's got better.
It's got way better now, obviously.
Obviously,
Especially-
we aren't mentioning names at all. I bet you've seen some lads with like good talent that's fucked it up with beer.
The amount of players now that didn't get signed on or threw it away
That could have done.
be playing every week now,
Yeah.
just because of the amount of talent back then that there was, the amount of players and pool of good players
Yeah.
that couldn't get anywhere near teams.
Totally.
Nah, there's just scarce talent. There's not much coming through, and I think it goes down to that pub culture.
Yeah. So that like going
It
on.
has like its pros and cons, doesn't it? Do you
Yeah.
know what I mean? Because we so as dads and that had been pub,
Yeah.
we'd be out on field playing
Totally.
rugby. Now the parents are drinking at home or they're doing whatever, and kids are sat on
I think I was
PlayStations.
brought up at Renault Rugby Club.
Well,
Yeah.
that's it, innit? That's what
Yeah.
we were.
Plus, as well, you've got to think like Liam, like there's two lads sat here who are proud of you, and around this area, we're speaking now at Airedale, Castleford. There's like you, Gaz, obviously Westy, but the talent round here is like over years been
Breeding
unbelievable.
ground, isn't it?
But
You
you could have easily, Westy, Daz, could have easily slipped into that, like not playing, not signing, not doing this, and we'll go on about it like your Magnet, Crown. Had some crazy times in Crown and stuff like that. I can remember one time when there's a photo of me and you.
Me
To be
and you,
fair,
yeah.
we sing it Red Robin song.
Yeah.
Your dad's at the side of us, and Eddie Ware in General's behind us, and he don't seem very happy, does General, but.
But like some kids were drinking at like 14, 15. Me and Westy weren't really.
Yeah.
We weren't drinking. We were in pubs.
Yeah,
Westy's dad were a big drinker. My
Yeah.
dad's a big drinker.
yeah,
But we were more into gambling.
yeah.
So we were playing cards.
I was going to say, I've
Playing
seen you on
darts.
Crown Bandit all the time.
Oh. Right, we're back.
Right, we're back because Mongo here kicked off at camera.
Not me either.
I'm going to say there's a few in here. It could be any one of us.
Reg, we'll blame Reg.
There's only 3 blind cells. Yeah, so we're back now. Kick camera over like a Doyle. So Liam, yeah, I think you were at Newcastle, mate, and end at Newcastle if you want to just check it on, mate.
Yeah, so I were up there at Newcastle, and like I said, it was a bit of a kick up arse for me, and to get me back, you know what I mean, grounded and get me back focused again. And then, like I said to you, that 2010 was like my proper year where I cemented my place in playing Super League Rugby week in, week out. So that what more or less started it in 2010. So yeah, that's probably where my playing career got up to at that point.
Where did you go from there then? What happened then?
So I stayed at KR. I was there until 2012. Got in England team at 19.
We're
Got
going
in-
to touch on that one.
Got
in
in
a bit.
40-man squad, training on squad at 19 that year in 2010. I played every game, and then last game we played Crusaders away. Did my knee. did my MCL.
Bad
Literally,
one,
bad tackle, got upended. As he's come back down on me, he's kept mid leg in his arms, and just boom, just snapped all ligament in my knee.
Legal. Tom.
Well, it was legal back then.
Would have been illegal if you did it.
Oh.
Red
I'd
card.
have been sentenced 10 years.
RFL did
Yeah.
We'll touch on that in a bit.
So I've been picked in 40-man squad. So obviously you get a phone call because we didn't end up making playoffs that year, I don't think. So literally we finished a week after you go straight into England camp.
What coach in England then?
Steve
Liam?
McNamara.
Yeah.
So Steve rang me up and says, look, you've been picked in. I got picked in through year.
Right, yeah.
So I went for a meeting. There were like James Graham there, Sean O'Loughlin and that. Then again, I was only 19.
Yeah.
Luckily, there was Sam Tonkins in it, Callum Watkins. I can't remember if Westy were in it. I don't think Westy were in that year. But there were a few young lads, Scott Moore and that. Do you know what I mean? So there were a few young kids in team at times. So it was a 40-man squad.
Yeah. So
they picked. There were no Aussies out that were playing at the time I was there. Everybody were in England at the time. So I had somebody to relate to that was sort of my age. You know what I mean? I wasn't knocking about with the older ones and that. So yeah, got into 40-man squad. Like I said, got injured, and then they says, look, come on the camp anyway, just more exposure for you, get in with lads and all that sort of stuff. And gutted that I couldn't train, and you know, like, so I was watching training. There were Ryan Bailey and Jamie Peacock and all them sorts of blokes. So I thought it'd be nice to get in.
When was there then?
I think
you finished.
No, I think Moz were there.
Were they? So one of your idols.
Yeah, I think vaguely I can remember Moz been there. I can't remember who we were playing for at the time though.
Did he come back to Bradford?
No, when he come back from NR, he went straight to Warrington, didn't he? When he come back.
No, I think he went to Bradford. They signed him. For,
but that's when he just come over for a bit though, wasn't it?
Yeah. Then did he go back and then come?
They go back, yeah, because theirs were opposite ours at times. So obviously they used to finish their season. They used to be like an overhang of 8 games over here.
Yeah.
Andrew Johnson that they did it in. So I can't remember who. I'm sure he were at. He were at Warrington anyway because he played Challenge Cup and that. He were there 2009 definitely. Right. So 2010 he were definitely at Warrington, and then they won Challenge Cup a couple of years on bounce them. So yeah, he'll have been there, Will Moz. So I was gutted that I didn't manage to get to train, rub shoulders with them sorts of blokes, because at the time obviously JP and that they were top of the game and thingy, and I was just coming through. So I can remember Baloo were on coaching staff and that, and he was good with Baloo. Got on really well, and he with training and that really detailed and stuff. So he were really good with Baloo on camps and stuff, and they had loads of I think Welland and that were on it at the time.
Another Red Hill lad. Paul Anderson.
Yeah, Baloo.
Yeah.
Did he at Red Hill?
Yeah, he were at Red Hill. He signed at Leeds from Red Hill.
Yeah, he's from Normie, innit? Normie lad.
He's a Normie lad.
Well, I don't know if he were a Normie lad, but he was definitely living in Normie, because when I used to meet Ben sometimes, I used to go and pick Ben up from his house, because Ben got done for driving, so he couldn't think it. So we had to go and pick him up a few times. And Ben, Paul Anderson lived next door to Benny Kane's mum and dad. So yeah, that were up in Normie, that. So yeah, that year I was just sort of gutted just to miss out, and then I come back the year after, played every game again in 2011. 2012 come, Justin Morgan got sacked. They got rid of him and brought Craig Sandercock in. And I got on England again that year. Played for England Knights in 2011. We had a good side that year, England Knights. So anybody that didn't end up getting picked, it was like the emerging talent of England. So they were like me, Steph Ratchford, Westy were on it, Danny Houghton, Callum Watkins. There were Josh Charlie. Oh mate, team now. Oh man, it was unbelievable. We had a good like youth side for England. So we ended up playing. We played against France, and we played Cumbria up in Cumbria, and then we had like 4 weeks off, to go on holiday or do whatever you want to do. Anyway, I can remember getting a phone call. Chris Wellham, he was at KR with me at the time. But Welly didn't have no kids or all like that. He was like, lived at home with his mum and stuff. And obviously, I wanted to go on holiday and go away and that with missus and kids. So I ended up booking an holiday and that. Come back, still had 2 weeks left, and I get a phone call off Sandercock. He were like, "Are you ready to come back training?" I went, "Not really." I said, "It's been a long year." And I said, I'm allowed 4 weeks off. He went, "Well, Chrissy Wellham's coming back in training next week." I was like, fuck. So I'm off to and then again it goes back to me. Do you know what I mean? I was just like, nah, I've played all year. I want a bit of time off. Deserve a bit of break and that. And then Welly went back 2 weeks after. And I was like, so I just kept off for another 2 weeks, went back training. Anyway, he pulled me in for a meeting because I'd never met him face to face. It was my first session, and he was like, "Oh, I'm great, blah blah." First thing he said, he went, "You're 3 weeks behind these lads." First thing that he after spot, I was like, "You don't even know. Do you know what I mean?" So sort of got off to the wrong foot with him from start there, and then gets about 15, 16 games in, and I just want. It was a good coach, technically really good, really like. Man management. Yeah, his man management was zero. Do you know what I mean? There were young kids and that. I can remember George Griffin. He got a tattoo, did Griffin. He was like, "You can't get a tattoo without asking me first," and that. But we didn't know if he were being serious. He was like an awkward seriousness. Do you know what I mean? And come out with a joke, and they'd only been laughing, and we're like, "Should we laugh?" Or do you know what I mean? It was like Scott Manelli used to hammer him and that. Yeah, he had a big mole on his head, and Scott Manelli used to be shouting "Mo," and he just used to absolutely rip piss out of him. This Scott, 'cause that's what Scott was like, and
you still like it now.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, so he used to take piss out of him, did Scott, and that, and then is
that when Hull come in?
Yeah, then Hull. I sort of, Owsey rang me and said, I've been approached by Hull. Obviously, you're an up-and-coming young lad front rower. You're only 22. You're probably going to be there front rower for next probably 10 years. So they're wanting to invest in like young English lads. I said, yeah. I said, well, obviously I need to get out my deal first year at KR. He went, don't worry about that. I'll sort that out. And he did. And it was in Oz at time. Rich Hagar rang me up. He were at Wakey. He just left Hull and gone to Wakey. So year before, Richard tried getting me to Hull.
Oh, right, yeah.
And I ended up doing back down him and staying him at KR because I'd had a good year and played for England and that. And I didn't really want to upset it. I didn't want to sort of like get out of a rhythm with it. I wanted to try
Especially
and keep
you have to think still you're a young kid.
Yeah, well, we're only 21 when he asked me to go, and he went to Wakey, offered me a good deal at Wakey. Anyway, Owsey says, do not speak or sign anyway. He said, I've got you a deal sorted, and it's going to be a decent one at Hull. I went, right, all right then. So after about 2 weeks, kept bringing Rich Hagar off. He's ringing me every day. I said, Rich, I can't do it now until Owsey comes back from Hull. I said, and then I'll sort it. Anyway, rings me up, Owsey comes back, I went, signed at Hull, mate. He went, right, that's your last chance, and I've tried signing you twice now. He said, I'll never try and sign you again. So I ended up signing at Hull. Signed for a year there. Westy were there. He'd left Cass and signed.
Hi guys, sponsors of this podcast really helped us out. All money's going to autism families of Castleford. First sponsor was a Tiger Way Cafe, which can be found just inside Castleford Market. Great food, great staff, and great prices. Also, second sponsor is the Pastures Green Butchers, which can be found again in Castleford Market. Excellent meat, excellent quality meat at very, very cheap prices. The third sponsor is Tiger Way Restaurant, brand new Thai restaurant open in Castleford. I've personally ordered from here myself, and it's proper top-notch food. I'll leave links for that in the comments. Yeah, great staff, great food. If you're a local business and want to sponsor any of our podcasts, all money will go to helping families with autism in the area. Yeah, thank you. Please like and subscribe for more.